Welcome to another exciting episode of Hope Speaks. We are live here with our dear friend Lavon Bolech with the the Bolech team. Is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah, well,
The
that,
team.
I don't think Rick would be very happy about that. That's the Bolech team.
The Bolech team. So tell me about the Bolech team. How many members do you guys have?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. This is so much fun, and Joey, it's so
Thank
glad
you.
to be here. All right, so the Bolech team's been around for 10 years, and we have 4 people on our team. So it's Rick and I, and we have a buyer's agent, and we have an admin. So
That's awesome.
and we work by referral. So
I love it. Well, that's a heck of a place to be in for 10 years.
It is.
Yeah.
We've seen some very interesting markets the last 10 years.
Well, I'd say that's 08 all the way through to 2018. That's a big change.
Right, and we're really, as you know, we're very, very smart people, but we started in '08, and
Yeah.
that was a very bizarre time, because the world was kind of going to hell in a handbasket, and we
It
didn't
was.
really know that at that
It was.
time.
You know, it's really interesting, I think about that, because I think of the amount of realtors that are out there today that we know,
Mhm.
because they probably think the market's hot, we can sell in it, no problem. And then I go back and I look at someone such as yourself who has gone through in '08, and if you can survive that, you can pretty much,
Absolutely.
rely upon the fact that you guys are excellent at what you do with your work.
Well, thank you, Joey. I
Yeah.
think we are, and I don't really believe that our job is to buy and sell homes. Our job is to educate, so that you can make the best decision for your family.
That's super important.
That's what we do.
I love it.
Because really, the buying and selling a home, that's mechanical.
That's
You
it.
know,
It is
I
very
can- and I
mechanical. It's a
can- and I can-
transaction.
Yeah, it's a transaction.
Yes.
And I can get you from A to Z, but you need to know what you're doing,
Yes.
and so that you can make some good decisions. I mean, unfortunately, I've had to go and do some stuff and go, it's just not time yet.
Yeah.
You
That
know, for
happens.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna sell you a house, but the house you can get now versus the house you can get
Yeah.
maybe in 6 months due to your particular situation,
Yes.
Yeah. I would wait,
Yeah.
so.
That makes sense. So, I guess I sat through a lot of conversations. I don't own a house right now, we're renters.
Right.
But my parents, my brother, they own homes. And the last year has been tumultuous on the market itself. They were
Exactly.
fighting taxes, protesting the
Mm.
daylights out of land values.
Terrible.
And prior to this, you were saying that coming into August of 2018, we've seen some transitions in the market.
Absolutely,
So-
right? Market trends is probably the biggest thing that we do on a daily basis.
Good.
To your point, for the last 2.5 years, if you've got a house that's in okay shape, you're in okay location, let's just say it's 200,000,
Yeah.
we would put it on the market for 209, maybe 214.9, because we could.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, that's fine if you're a seller.
Sure.
And it's good, and it was really good for the market, because right now, we have more, buyers than sellers, so it was
Okay.
very good. But the reality of a market is it can't continue like that,
Sure.
okay? It was
That makes
good,
sense.
we all
Yeah.
did well, sellers did well, but we
Yeah.
really can't continue.
Okay.
And so what we've seen just in the last 2 months,
That
we-
fast.
that fast, I mean, it was like that. We've started to, a shift, because
Okay.
markets are fluid, so they change.
Sure.
For the last 2.5 years, we've probably had 1 to 2 months worth of inventory.
That's
in
fast.
different, normal is 6 months,
That's a fast turnaround.
okay?
Wow.
Normal is 6 months. So what you've seen in the last 60 days, price reductions.
So do you think people on the 1 to 2 months was out of fear? Or do you think it was more like hey, the market's hot, I'm gonna sell, and the buyers need the house, so it was a fear-based market? Do you think so?
Oh,
on that?
for sure,
Okay.
and
Like there's not gonna be that.
yeah, I was in multiple offers, and I finally got it, and I paid
Yeah.
10,000 over,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that's fine, and
Sure, but
I
it's
hate
not
that,
realistic
but
to
it's
run at
not
that.
realistic to
Okay.
keep that on.
Okay.
So I would not be fearful of a market shift.
Sure.
Especially in DFW, where we still have more people coming in that are going out.
Okay.
Interest rates, yes, are going up, but if you look at interest rates over 100 years, the average is 8%. We're still way below that.
That's way low.
Okay, now granted, 3%, it's gone.
Yes.
Good for you,
Cool.
if you got that.
Yeah.
But 5's not bad,
No, I think I locked in on my first home at five and a half.
yeah.
My dad was telling me his first home was an 82, and it was like
18,
19%.
And we sold a heck of a lot of houses
Yeah,
back then,
yeah.
okay? So, and what happens when the interest rates are that high, the market's really good, the
Yeah.
economy is really good,
Yeah.
okay? So, this is kinda economics
Sure.
also, but this is a very good time for buyers right now.
Excellent.
Because they are seeing price reductions, they're seeing more realistic prices
Awesome.
for what they're trying to buy.
Great. I like hearing that. So with that, what is the expectation now? As we go into the fall, right, what are we seeing? What is the outlook?
Well, because we look because we live in DFW
Sure.
versus say Michigan, we don't necessarily have a seasonal market. It's not like
Okay.
we shut down in November because
Okay.
the snow's coming,
Yeah,
right?
right.
People come in, yes, is there a summer market? Yes.
Yes.
But like for Rick and I, we deal with a lot of people that are empty nesters, okay? Well, they don't really care that it's November
Yeah, they don't care
or
about it.
October
No.
or something. And I think the days of, we're gonna wait till the kids get out of school and we're gonna move in the summer and then, life doesn't work that way is what I'm trying to
Sure.
say. People
Yeah.
get transferred in October,
They do.
and so
Yes.
you have to come. So sometimes our biggest quarters will be that third and fourth quarter.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because people
Fascinating.
move and, life happens
Okay.
is the big
Yeah,
deal.
that is very, very much so. That's really neat. So let me ask you this now. Let's say that somebody is moving into the market themselves. They're coming from out of state into Dallas,
Mhm.
and they're trying to make that decision with their family. Let's say we might be in Grapevine, or we might be in some surrounding city of the 114 corridor, but we don't know how long. Is it better for them to own, or is it better for them to lease?
That's a great question. A rather loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
Well, because I would say this, all right, how long are you gonna be here?
They don't know.
Okay, usually
Right.
they know it's
Usually, I
short
would think,
term,
yes.
or, I got transferred here. If
Sure.
it's less than 5 years, I will
Sure.
tell them, let's kind of stray away from new construction.
Okay, that's fair.
Because if you are in the beginning stages of a huge development, I don't know if they're gonna be phased out in 5 years, and why would they buy your house, which is now a resale house, versus they can get a brand new one for the same
That
price.
makes
So
sense.
I at least say, well, we're here, I'm vice president now, so
Yeah.
I'm here for the duration.
Yes.
Second thing is, where do you have to go every day?
Sure.
Okay, and people coming from the West Coast and East Coast, they don't mind driving an hour, and I tell them
Are you serious?
that's what they're used to.
So an hour in Dallas though is huge. You can
But
go
I
live
said-
in Rome.
And that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, but you don't have to do that here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, so the second thing is schools.
Very
Okay,
important. Sure.
very important schools. So
Sure.
once you do those two things, you have taken the Metroplex.
Sure.
Because really, very rarely does someone come here and go, I don't care. Just
Yeah.
anywhere. It's like,
No,
well,
they
you've
want to live
got
in
to
a
go.
good neighborhood. Right.
Good neighborhood. I want this hour, this many minute commute, and these are the schools. A lot of them, I'd say 70 to 80% have researched the schools before they even get here.
That's fascinating.
So that's
Wow.
where, you can do anything on the internet.
Yeah, you can.
So anyway, they come down here. So instead of looking at this big Metroplex, we're over here,
Sure.
or we're down here, or we're over here. So you
These
just
little
kind of,
satellite cells, little
Yeah,
pockets
and
throughout the city.
and a buyer needs to do that. You cannot show them the whole metro. They'll get confused.
So well, yeah, very much
I
so.
mean, it won't work out. So
Yeah.
you just ask a series of questions. I call it a funnel,
Perfect.
to where you're just,
Leading them
near
right
and
where you
near.
need them to be.
And another thing I do too is, I'm approved for up to 400,000, and my answer is always the same. 400,000 is plenty of money.
It is.
It is plenty.
It is a lot of
Whatever
money.
your budget is, it's plenty of money. My responsibility is to get you the best that money buys.
Sure.
So I will go.
Like 400,000 in South Lake is a lot. But
Well,
you might
actually,
be buying a bare lot.
yeah, it's probably a lot. There's no house, there's no plumbing.
No.
But I mean, a $400,000 in, let me just say, Midlothian is going to
Sure.
look different than a $400,000 house in Grapevine.
100%.
So the first thing I do is go, I'm just going to put out there, because they'll come, well, I need 4 bedrooms, I want hardwoods, and I'm like, time out. I'm going to make you a search, 350 to 450.
Perfect.
End of story.
Yeah.
In all these areas that you're interested in, because I want them to come to the conclusion, wow, you don't get much for that over
No.
here.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
over here, look at all this.
Sure.
And this
Yeah.
still has the schools, it still has that. So you want them to come, because everything costs differently in the Metroplex.
Very true. So that was something that came up in conversation, you and I, we were talking about this, like 400,000, right? However, you take in consideration taxes.
Yes.
The idea that if you're living in Grapevine, 400,000 versus, let's say you're in Coppell, 400,000, your taxes is super different at that
It
standpoint.
could be,
Yeah.
it could be. You have your tax rates.
Sure.
So let's just say 200, because I'm easy math here.
That's fine. It's
And
easy
you do
math.
it by the multiplier.
Yeah.
And the multipliers are your county, your hospital districts, which is your EMS, all that, your city, and your school.
School.
Your school's a big part of that.
It is, it's
okay? So then it comes out to 0.2 or 2.22, whatever it is. They're all, I don't want to say similar, but it's not like one municipality will be 2.2 and the next one's 5. It doesn't go up that much.
No.
But obviously, the more $1 million house is going to pay more taxes
Well,
than
sure.
a 200. So,
Yes.
I mean, it's also based on the price of your home
Sure.
as well.
Yeah.
And then it's been a big deal this year, especially with Trump saying you can't take off your taxes any more than 10,000. That really
Wow.
hurt the upper price market, because
Yeah,
someone
massive.
coming in at, man, I'm looking at 800, but why would I spend that if I can't? To me, that's just wasting money on taxes. So I hope that this gets worked out, and I think this market kind of settling down is also going to help your property value, so that we don't continue to go up.
Sure.
It's been a very big issue this year.
Yes,
Very
yes.
big.
Okay, so back to the original question I want to ask this. So lease to own. You said, we were talking beforehand on this, we're talking about renting and that kind of idea. And you said it's super important to have a short-term strategy on rent.
Exactly.
Right? That's going to be the biggest thing that we need to have.
Absolutely. Several things, renting versus owning. No matter what time in history, it's always a good time to own. Okay, whether you're an investor and you had all these
Sure.
people are always making money in real estate, regardless of the markets.
They are.
All right.
Yes.
Number two, remember I said there's more buyers than sellers, so
Yes.
there is no motivation for someone that has a house for rent to lease to own to you. There's no
No.
motivation there.
No, they're just
okay,
gonna
so you're
rent
not
and then
going to
you're gonna
find that.
Yeah.
And I hate. Everybody's got to rent at some
We
point
do.
in their life.
Sure.
Okay, I mean, you're doing this, you want to do this, you've had family, whatever. Make it a short-term strategy,
Sure.
because it's horribly expensive.
It is.
What you get for the money
It is.
versus what you could buy a home, regardless of what your loan is or
Yeah.
whatever. It's just very expensive for what you get.
Yes.
You have no write-offs, and it's just throwing money down the drain. But sometimes we have to do that due
We
to
do.
life's
Yeah. What happened?
dear to
Yeah,
life.
life's
Okay,
hand.
but
Sure.
they make it a short-term strategy.
Sure.
Save and get into home ownership.
Okay, so then if we're done talking about short-term strategy and renting, I'll use myself as an example. We owned a house, we sold it, now we rent. From a standpoint though, our biggest fear is that we're not gonna hit that 20% number that we're always mythically told.
Right.
You need to have a 20% down payment. My parents' generation, they always hammered into us, 20% down, 20% down, 20% down.
Right.
So what happens for us? What's the options? What do we need to look at?
Well, I'm not a loan officer, but I will
That's
tell
fair.
you, different loan companies have different products,
Okay,
and it really depends. You're self-employed. There's a product for you and I.
Ah,
Okay,
that's
we're self-employed, so
Sure.
our box is a little bit different.
sure,
There's loans called FHA, VA. If you served our company, there's a plethora of products out there due to your situation, and a good loan officer should say, with this is what'll happen.
oh, that's
With
huge.
this amount, this is what will happen. Again, educate you on how this works.
Yeah.
Now, would some cost you more than others? Yes, but the mythical 20% down, that's one of many that you can do.
Fascinating, okay. I was never aware of that from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Many things you can do.
So that just gives the idea that so this is what I'm hearing now. Two ideas here is one, you have to have a damn good realtor, which is what we already
You
have
do.
here. But we also need to have a very good mortgage person.
You do, because all of this comes together. I can't do it without them.
Sure.
I can't do it without a good title person, and I
Sure.
can't do it without some good vendors on top of that.
Yes.
When you go for appraisal and inspections and,
They all
to
kinds to come
get to the
together.
bones. I mean, there's 500 people that come together for this transaction.
That's amazing. That's
And
huge.
it's up to me to help you decipher through that. So
That's
again, it's
huge.
not up to me to buy or sell you a house.
Yes.
To me, it's man, we gotta get all this information.
So
We
for
gotta make
those,
some good decisions.
from that standpoint then, so you have specific lenders that you choose to work with, you have all these people that can help us.
And there's a lot of good ones out there.
That has
A
like-
lot of good ones out there.
Because that's the big thing that I think we're told is starting doctors, they say, you're not gonna be able to buy a home, your student debt is way too high. Debt to income ratio, whatever it may
Right.
be on that standpoint. My understanding is that there's a loan for
There
medical
are.
grads.
So, you see what I'm saying? There's
Yeah,
products out
there's
there.
products, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, not all of them handle those products, but they are out there. So
That's awesome.
that's why you try to get as many of these people possible going, well, you might want to talk to these and these as well. Again,
Fascinating.
educate.
That's awesome, that's huge. So, leading into this then, let's talk about some stories. So what has been
Stories.
for you and Rick, I'm gonna focus on you, Lavon. Who do you love working with?
I love working with past clients.
Past clients?
I love working with referrals, because at this point, 10 years into it,
Sure,
we have built such a base that when I see Joey or I see Joey's friends or people that are moving into town, I love them because I'm almost like a tour guide.
that's.
Because I think I know everything about DFW,
Well,
but
you
I mean,
do.
you know,
That's
I
fair.
know more than they do. I know more than they do, and so I love that.
Okay, great.
And I love people that we can add to our database, because really clients are friends. And,
Well, that's how I felt.
and
Yeah.
I don't,
Sure.
it's like we're dating,
Yeah.
and then we get married, and
Yeah.
that's how way we feel, because we don't
Yeah.
we don't keep people, or they don't stay if we don't.
That's your, so what
Everybody's
is your
got a
retention then on your, like, let's say somebody that bought a house from you back 10 years ago, do you still know them, do you still talk to them?
Yeah, that's the key of working by referral, is that Rick and I and our team are very relational versus transaction.
Sure.
Like, I'm still amazed today when people come into like an open house, or I meet them at a networking event and they're like, yeah, I really need to sell my house or whatever, and we've made that connection. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, who was your realtor when you bought it? Oh gosh, what was their name?
That's gotta be an embarrassment.
Oh, and I hear it 9 out of 10 times, and I'm like,
That's rough.
you know
Oh, man,
why?
that's
They don't stay in touch, and
Yeah, they
so
don't stay in touch and they
we
don't
have
have
a
a
referral
relationship.
program. We touch our clients at least every 3 months.
I hope
In
you don't
some
touch
way.
me every 3 months. You send some type of mailer, we see that,
With
I mean,
value,
that's
you know,
something
just
great.
think-
I think one thing I love was you gave away the, for 4th of July, you gave the necklaces, my kids
Yeah,
loved it, they were super pumped.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Doing it for the kids and
Yes.
so forth. I mean, we do
Yes.
all sorts of things throughout the
Yes.
year
Yeah.
to get different, because empty nesters, they like different things.
Yeah.
You guys with kids,
Yeah.
I make it really kid oriented.
Oh, yeah,
And,
they love it.
so you just find out different things.
That's
So
awesome.
then this becomes fun,
Okay,
you know?
yeah, it does.
It just really becomes fun.
Okay, so in the last year, what's been your best experience selling a house? What has been your most fun house to buy or to sell?
It was this couple that we got from a referral moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, and
East to West Coast?
I'm sorry, East
Texas?
Coast to here. Okay, and they
Okay.
only
What part of
lived.
East- what part of East
Well, they
Coast?
went New York to Maryland to North Carolina, so they just always were in that
Okay.
bubble
that
over there. So they come
yeah.
to Texas, they fall in love. Doesn't hurt that they have these amazing, very high personalities. And he just couldn't believe what you got for the money here, because
bet he
that
lost
is
his
the good
mind.
news. And he lost his mind.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
So
That's-
every house we went in, he would never leave the foyer. He would just go, I want to write an offer. Go get the paper. I want this house. And again, coming from education, I'd have to go, his name was JP. I said, JP, get out of the foyer.
Yeah, come see the rest of
We
the
have
house.
to sit, we're not writing any papers.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
we're not writing an offer on this house. We've only seen one house. But he
That's
was just so funny.
That's hilarious.
And so fun.
My wife's cousin lives in New York City. She was telling me how they have a family flat, and it's like 1,500 square feet in like some great part of New York in a building, right? And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay. And she's like, yeah, it's worth $8 million. I was like, huh, excuse me.
It's just a totally
Yeah.
different
I was
world.
like, you want to come down to Texas and see what you can get for $8 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, you
Or
live
do you just
large.
want to? Do you want to spend 600,000 and pocket the other 5.5 you're going to have? Like,
It's crazy. I mean, this is still, if you look at a big metropolitan city, we by far, and Houston was probably second to that, the biggest bang for your buck, and you're still in this big metropolitan area. Because you
Yeah.
go to other big areas, it's just, it's very expensive.
It is. It's very, very expensive. That's amazing. So, for anybody who's looking to get in touch with the Bolech team, how does it work?
Well, you can go to our website. We can friend our Facebook page, the Bolech Team.
Okay.
You can friend me, Lavon
Great.
Bolech, because we do a lot on social media, or you can call us.
That sounds awesome. So, what's your website?
Lavon Bolech at kw.com.
Okay. And your phone number to get a hold of you?
214-315-7820.
And what if Rick answers? I'm
Ooh,
just
that'd
kidding.
be tough. I can give you his number too.
Yeah, you can give Rick's number also. So, for those of you who didn't catch it, the information will be held on the bottom of our page. You'll see the information to get in touch with Lavon. Find out about the Bolech team. They are who we use for realty. They're a wonderful resource and a great asset. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me. And I
That's
think you made a
awesome.
great comment. We're here for a resource.
Yeah,
I mean, any
that's
kind
it.
of questions you have.
Every single one, and feel
Every
free to reach out. And remember, at the same time, it's not an obligation. All it is
No.
a conversation.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
stealing that.
Yeah, go ahead and take it. That
It
sounds
is.
great.
It's just a conversation.
Awesome.
We're here to help.
You have anything else to say?
No, I just appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.